Another week, boys, and another TWAB. This week at Bungie, we showed off a heck of a lot, including more Void 3.0 goodness. We're also setting some legendary campaign expectations alongside a special tribute to our heroes. What a week so far, and we still have just a little more time to go before the Witch Queen finally arrives later this month. A lot of new info has dropped this week with an enticing new Vidoc and the breakdown many have been asking for regarding Void 3.0. Feeling like the rest of us can't wait to jump right into the next chapter of Destiny 2's story? We get it. While we can't, would love to, but can't give the community with an early drop, there is an interactive experience available now that centers around Savathun herself and getting to know the enemy up close and personal. That's right, guys. Bungie's actually dropping these little interactive trailers. And again, taking that forensic detective approach where we're essentially understanding Savathun's origin, her motives. Honestly, I think this is more for like the new player that's coming into the game to kind of bring them up to speed. I think many of us that have been keeping up with the seasonal content already know pretty much what's up. Either way it goes, it's still entertaining to watch. And as we get more and more of these dropping on us, I'm sure we're going to string them all together at some point and do like a lore dive into those pieces. With that being said, let's talk about Void 3.0. Another juicy tidbit that you may have missed is the hefty new blog post that offers a closer look at the revamped Void subclasses. A change that is free for all players and one that just honestly feels really good for showing enemies who's boss. To read the full breakdown, check out our Destiny developer team blog post here with a few key points broken down in a simpler format below. All right, so this is going to be another dive into this. We cover this in much more depth in this video right here. I literally just looked through everything here in regards to the Void 3.0 review, and it's just literally the cliff notes to what was spoken about yesterday. But I do highly advise if you want a full comprehensive understanding of Void 3.0, at least based on yesterday's article and what you see here in front of you, check out that video. If not, wait until Saturday. We're actually doing a Void 3.0 breakdown of every ability that has been revealed to us since the TWAB from like last August to now, and literally just going through everything we have seen so far. Again, normally I do like to read everything from front to back, guys, but in this case, there's a lot of stuff we're just rereading every single day right now. Moving on to the legendary campaign. It really do be like that sometimes. Some Guardians have been asking for more of a challenge. So the team here at Bungie has created the new legendary campaign mode that will arrive when the Witch Queen drops later this month. From reward drops to how it would differ on a base level, we wanted to dive just a little bit deeper into what this new challenging experience has to offer. To do just that, we've got design lead Mac McConnell offering some insight into some of the most frequently asked questions about the challenge ahead. What are the main rewards of completing missions at legendary difficulty? Well, we've got double chest rewards offering 1 to 3 extra chests per mission. Each chest will give you royal pool gear, XP, upgrade modules, and glimmer. Legendary players will be able to earn throne world armor and unlocks at a faster rate. And basically, higher the risk means higher the reward, especially when getting to the new power level soft cap in the Witch Queen. Now, are there any unique rewards for completing the story on legendary difficulty? Completing all missions on legendary will award players with the following: a new emblem exclusive to those who complete the campaign at legendary difficulty, a triumph required for the newest title for throne world, a set of gear 20 above the soft cap at 1520 power, 8 upgrade modules, the new Witch Queen exotic armor that typically is reserved for PED Lost Sector drops, and exclusive Bungie rewards. More on that in the future. All right, I think it's pretty safe to say that we are all going to be doing the legendary campaign day one. And it seems like that's the way we should be playing it anyways, right? Most of the time, at least in previous campaigns and even Beyond Light, we just kind of breeze through it. I wouldn't mind a little challenge. Some players have been asking if this is a difficulty to be feared. How challenging is it? To set difficulty expectations, the legendary campaign is designed to be harder than a Legend Nightfall, though it is easier than a solo dungeon or running a Grandmaster Nightfall. Oh, okay. I don't know, man. Even something under Grandmaster, right? A Master Nightfall can still mess you up. Enemies are more difficult and more aggressive. They also have higher damage resistance and are more of a challenge to stagger, and the shield are stronger to unmatched damage types. The challenge of Legendary also comes from switching up enemy interactions and infiltration, like swapping out an elite for a boss or having an influx of more red bar foes. All right, I like that right there. So the enemies themselves are going to be more aggressive. Think like Gambit Prime, right? Like, you notice like the difference between like Gambit and Gambit Prime in terms of like enemy AI? They will run you down. Whereas like regular Gambit was like, yo, you're one shot, we're going to ease up. Can I over level this content? Each mission caps your power similar to raid contest mode so that all Guardians have an even playing field to avoid feeling like every step is a grind. The mission launch screen will have a skull displaying each mission's max effective power. If you're under level, level, be prepared for a bit of a tough fight. So it is going to start off, I think, at 1360 power, right? Which we're all going to be at. But my thought process was like, okay, if it happens to be too difficult, I would just run through the base campaign and then come back and do legendary when I'm over leveled. The fact that they're keeping essentially contest mode on it at all times, man, seems like Bungie's wanting this to be hard and stay hard. Now the mighty are forged in battle, but is it that way for solo players too? We've had a lot of aspirational content in the past, but legendary gives us a chance to give solo players more equal footing with those that opt into playing with the fire team. Enemy damage and health scales to match your fire team, though it won't be a one-to-one because triple the boss health isn't fun. Even still, it will be enough to keep even a veteran trio on their ornamented toes. We also didn't want to trivialize darkness encounters compared to solo play, so you're limited to 1 revive per player for each darkness zone and a shared timer of 40 seconds before an automatic wipe happens. Now we said it time and time again, but you've got to stay close to your friends and be ready to pick them up when they fall. All right, I guess the question is, am I better off doing it solo or with Bombad and Les? Bombad doesn't throw, but y'all know Les, right? It might actually be better to do a duo instead of a trio, right? Just a 2-man fire team, Bombad and myself. I'm actually thinking about considering how difficult this is going to be, just rocking Lumina and Boots of the Assembler and just play support the entire day. Not that I'm a Warlock main, but you see the situation I'm in, right? Now, will players be able to tone things down if Legendary is a bit too much for their playthrough? For those folks that find the difficulty of Legendary too overwhelming at first, there is an option to leave a mission and relaunch it through the classic Destiny 2 settings. Some players will want to focus more on the story than on the sweat for the first run, and that's totally fine. We want to support that. For those who want more of a challenge later, we've added nodes to replay any of the Witch Queen campaign mission on classic or legendary at any time, after you've been the mission once, of course. Basically, prepare to go ham or don't. The choice is yours. It's a tough one, guys. Y'all remember Avarice when it dropped? We had the normal version and the hard version, and we spent like all day doing the hard version to realize, at least in regards to the exotic quest that we were trying to complete, that it would have just been better off doing the normal version of the dungeon and learning the encounters before attempting the master version. However, I will say this, there is something to be said about tackling the content at its hardest difficulty right out the gate. Kind of feel prideful, right? You're like, yo, I just did that. Now, heroes are always welcome. The Destiny community is one of the best in gaming, and we want to celebrate how incredible each and every Guardian is. Whether it be reviving community-focused spotlights, the incredible charity initiatives like Guardians of the World, or player-driven initiatives like Operation Save New Lights to help guide newbies through the new content, there's a lot to be thankful for when looking at the Destiny player base. One more way we are celebrating the majesty that is all of you gun-toting fashionists out there is through a new series, Heroes Welcome, a new ongoing video adventure that will focus on players themselves in a vibrantly explosive tribute as seen in the style of our kickoff video below. The first video is just the beginning. In future features, we will directly showcase real players within the community to bring your Destiny 2 legends to life while we aim to inspire new lights around the world. Heroes Welcome is about celebrating the determined lone wolves and the loyal fire team members. It's about taking on space wizards with tickle fingers, made of pure pain and melting bosses' faces off with artillery like 1,000 voices. It's about those selfless guardians that help guide new players on their journey into learning what it means to be a guardian. It's about those heroes that are always standing by with that revive or that carry to the lighthouse. It's about expert fighters and newcomers alike. It's about the power behind the mask and the heart beneath that epic exotic breastplate. It's about the sense of accomplishment when finally emerging victorious after a brutal raid, and about the friends we made along the way. Oh, that's sweet. Looky there, man. Getting me in the feels right now. I will say this, I have a moment every year when a new raid drops, and I say the same thing every time, that I hate my fire team, that I hate every member on this team, and that I will never raid with them again. But then lo and behold, we slay that beast, that god, that giant robot with them thick Vex legs. We kill him. And in that moment, I'm reminded that it's too much trouble to find another fire team anyways. Now, as an example, one of Destiny's heroes we are talking to is none other than the incredible Amaze. If the name sounds familiar, you may have seen a few Bungie developers share his epic, impromptu Destiny raps on his streams. He kills it every time, never failing to bring the feel-good vibes that he and his community have to offer. No lie, that guy is straight up just starts throwing down, man. Just freestyling. And it's good. I mean, I can freestyle, but it's not good freestyle. Yeah, guys, check him out though. He really does make some great content, great vibes, all that good stuff. Now moving on. We heard you like new exotics. You're dang right I do, Bungie. These days, Destiny 2 literally has a fashion show. So I think we're long past the days of pretending Destiny isn't a massive flex of gear and those sweet, sweet dance moves. With more exotics on the way, as we crush enemy Hive Ghosts with our bare hands. Yeah, that's right, Bungie. Why the question mark? We're gonna kill Hive Ghosts, aka cousins of our ghosts. We want to give a little sneak peek at some of the new exotic armor that Guardians will be able to don and and what sort of perks that come with them. It's all fun and games in the Destiny class war until somebody takes it seriously. So without further ado, let's dive into the goodies all three classes have in store with a little additional insight from the developer team. So starting with the Lorely Splendor Helm for Titans, which is more than just a pretty face. It has Cauterizing Flame perk that allows for sunspots to heal players when they have Sun Warrior. Critically wounded? No big. The perk also ensures that a sunspot is created in your location to give you that one last fighting chance with that quick grenade and that melee ability recharge and longer supers. Plus, more damage. Always a good thing. Okay, they got a question mark there, but I'm assuming it does give more damage. Now, from the development team, playtest name, Stag Spot Helm. The goal here was to embrace the awesome art and to give sunspot players another choice besides Phoenix Cradle. Also, melee builds are becoming more popular, and this makes higher level difficulty melee more viable, at least in theory. Well, thank God, at least we have one Bungie dev that plays hammers. But look, just circling back here, it allows for your sunspots to heal players. Remember the other day, Kevin Giannis actually stated that Solar's not only gonna burn in Solar 3.0, it's also gonna be healing. They're gonna lean into that. And considering the fragments and aspects we could potentially get in the future, this Lorely Splendor Helm is only gonna get better in that aspect. But let me just circle back to that perk itself. It ensures that a sunspot is created in your location to give you that one last fighting chance with that quick grenade and melee ability recharge and longer supers. What's amazing about this is when you're critically wounded, a sunspot, I guess, erupts. Now, I think the health will probably be like a slow drain of health, so it's not like too powerful. But the point is, imagine a shotgun rusher. He shoots you with a shotgun. You become critically wounded. He goes to finish you off with a melee, but instead runs into your sunspot, which, by the way, completely burns the hell out of enemies, right? And once you even get those things going, man, you literally light the world on fire. And you're also getting your health back? Oh, now the Titan's Hoarfrost chest piece is also nothing to scoff at, though this one takes a chiller approach to combat for stasis users with the Glacial Fortification perk. When a player uses stasis, it allows for a Titan's Barricade to become an impressive wall of stasis crystals. These crystals will slow any target that gets too close while also boosting a player in their fire team's weapon reload speed, stability, and range. Wow. All right. It boosted for the entire fire team. Not only that, guys, think about all the synergy, the instant procking of Rhyme, Whisper of Chains, etc. This was a team effort. The original idea was to replace barricades, which is a single ice block. But Kevin Giannis and the ability team had some ideas and stuff lying around from Beyond Light for spawning crystals. To spice it up, we wanted to have it grant the new benefits of Rally Barricade. And then Giannis suggested that the spawn objects could just be stasis version of a Rally Barricade window. It proved to be a ton of fun, and the rest is history. Again, the beautiful thing about this, considering it's stasis crystals, all right? You spawn the wall, right? You're shooting through that little window. It's kind of tight though, so it's gonna be kind of difficult for the entire fire team to be right there in that one spot for like a team of 6. But as your stasis wall is actually taking damage and pieces of the crystals are falling apart, you're gonna be able to heal with things like Whisper of Rhyme, especially if you happen to cast this wall into a group of enemies, right? And then you instantly freeze them. I have a power fantasy in my head right now about this, so if you're already seeing some of the holes in my game plan, please don't ruin this, all right? Just let me believe. We don't get much here in the Titan class. Okay, Warlocks, you're up. First up, let's talk about them legs. Them sexy long legs, Warlock mains. Warlock mains have definitely been shouting out their love for the new Sectant Filaments armor. With the Devouring Rift perk, these shining walking sticks of power will grant a player Devour when they cast their Empowering Rift, allowing for damage from both allies and individual players the ability to disrupt foes, but in style. This started as, what can we give Warlocks that would make Empowering Rift a more viable choice in Master content? We figured the answer was, well, it probably has to heal, and eventually we settled on what we call the Devouring Rift pants. Overload was added to increase excitement and expand options players had to build for various champion-enabled content. Guys, I need you to understand how big of a deal this is. You are going to be able to damage and disrupt foes, overload champions, while standing in a rift from the Secant Filaments armor. That's huge. On top of that, Empowering Rift and Devour. Now, it doesn't say that your teammates are going to get Devour, it's just you, but because it grants overload disruption, it is going to have a place in-game, or at least we hope. Personally, I actually see these exotics being used more inside of PvP. Look, I'm that guy that sits in the back with an aggressive sniper rifle, and I like to one-shot body shot guardians while standing in an Empowering Rift. Now, I'll be able to heal myself. Hell yeah. Now, next up, we have the Osmiomancy gauntlets for Warlocks. warlocks and the Fervent Cold Snap perk. This nifty look allows for cold snap grenades to have additional charge that will recharge faster when it makes direct impact. The secret spawns from cold snap grenades also travels further too, which is a bonus. Since hunters had a dustfield modifier and titans had something like a glacial modifier, it felt natural to give warlocks something for cold snap. Fun fact, the ground faller for this is so fast that we had a bug file to change how it acquired targets. The issue? A grenade thrown near a combatant's feet could spawn a ground follow that traveled through and behind the enemy, then turn around to come directly back toward the warlock by the time the VFX applied. It looked like the cold snaps were actively avoiding hitting targets and speeding directly away instead. Thankfully, that shouldn't be an issue at launch. Look, I know they're trying to hype us up to use these Osmiomantic gauntlets for the cold snap grenades. And here's the thing, I'm going to use them, but not the way they want me to. What's better than one Stacy? Two Stacys! Or Stacy's twin sister, Sandra! Now don't worry, hunters. I still have love for you despite the jokes. You've got some pretty cool gear on the way, including the Blight Ranger helm with the Voltaic Mirror perk. Lightning lovers, here's where your arc powers can truly shine. This perk allows players to redirect with their arc staff to deal an increased amount of damage and orbs of power generation for allies. Basically, get in there and do some damage. Sounds like a good time. We wanted to make something for Arc Strider that leaned into an aspect of the super that doesn't normally get focus. There are players that love wielding other people's attacks, creatures, game pieces, etc. against them. This is for those people. Now listen guys, I'm excited about this exotic, not necessarily for what we're gonna see in Witch Queen, but more specifically for Arc 3.0. Again, some of these set pieces and exotics that Bungie's dropping, it is in preparation for the updated subclasses. And lastly, hunters also have the Renewal Grasp to look forward to with the Depths of Dustfield perk. This gives Guardians a much larger radius for their Dustfield grenades, while also nerfing incoming damage for allies within the Dustfield's range. Any targets locked within that space will also deal out reduced amounts of damage, so go out there and make those hive cry. Stasis Hunter now have a sort of mini Silence and Squall that they can deploy with a grenade. This gives Revenants the ability to play a more team-focused role, or to play more of an area denial control game than they've been able to before. Alright, so Dustfield grenades, they're going to be bigger. There's also going to be benefits for standing in your own Dustfield grenade. And considering some of the builds we've seen with Dustfield grenades, there are ways in which you can just get infinite Dustfields. I can see this working really well with mods like Focusing Lens for your teammates. The question I have is, are we going to get Focusing Lens next season again? I don't know. Outside of that, guys, this is the Witch Queen release schedule. Destiny will be going offline February the 21st at 7 p.m. And then all of us will be rushing to go back online on February the 22nd. And to be honest with you, it may be well into the afternoon before we get back into Destiny 2. That's just the way things are, right? Now, as a final outro here from Hippie, while not the beefy boy TWAB that last week's was, we figured a nice little recap would do well since we had so much good stuff drop this week. Seeing everyone's excitement after the Vidoc went live was a whirlwind for the team, causing a rush of joy and excitement to completely take over the studio. We have so much we can't wait to tell you and to show you. One more light TWAB left until the Witch Queen arrives, and then it's about to go down. Are you ready? I should go. Hippie. So, nothing was said about Gamut. I am actually going to talk about Gamut this weekend. I'm going to talk about a couple things that I would like to see in the TWAB next week, which should mention some of these Gamut changes that we're going to be getting. Again, my annual skate is still at stake. I've already seen the tweet from DMG stating that it won't be major changes, but there's a lot of gray area there. Regardless though, I'm excited about what we've seen so far. Between Void 3.0, the new exotics here, the 50+ weapons we're getting in Witch Queen, we are about to get a ton of content to play. Guys, if you're interested in the new aspects and fragments that we covered in Void 3.0, again, a link to that video will be in the description below. If you're also interested in the deep dive we did earlier on the Vidoc, this is not our initial reaction, this is a deep dive, as in we researched for the past 2 days into every little aspect of the Vidoc. Kind of a long video, I know it's like 25 minutes, but if you got time and you want to check it out, a link to that will also be in the description. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.